What's up, Internet? If you've been following TVC for a long time, you might know me as your mother. But if you've been following it for a short time, you might know me as that other guy from KB's videos. But who am I really? Well, I'm a theory fighter and training mode monster, Dr. Science. And I've got a few things to tell you about TVC. So sit back, relax, and get ready to go in the lab with Dr. Science. Welcome to Chemistry 101, where we're going to talk about team dynamics. Today we're going to talk about the team of Yatterman 1 and the original Tekkaman. Now Yatterman 1 is generally accepted as a high-tier character due to his high priority, good range, and good mid-screen combos, but he's got a couple problems such as his blind spot in his assist and his horrible shitty super. So let's take a look at how these two complement each other's gameplay. First of all, having Tekkaman in the back allows Yatterman to tack a lot of damage onto the end of his combos anywhere on the screen, using the VAR mechanic. This combo, for example, does over half of Ken the Eagle's life bar at a net meter gain. Here's the same combo, but with a hard knockdown tacked on. Obviously this will do slightly less damage and build you slightly less meter, but it leaves you in a better situation for mix-ups. If you've got some meter to spend, you can use Tekkaman in the back with some DHCs like this. This does more damage than the VAR combos, and gives you some unburstable super damage, which Yatterman has a hard time doing on his own. If you've got a few meters to spend, and the corner, you can use this team super for huge damage. So how does Yatterman improve Tekkaman's game? Well, first off, Tekkaman is one of the only characters that can really make good use of Yatterman's assist because it hits right at the sweet spot at the end of his Space Lance, so he can use it in hit or on block in setups like this. Here's an example of an optimized combo using the Yatterman assist with Tekkaman on Also, if you don't use the Yatterman assist in your combo, you can VAR into them like this. This gives an opportunity to add damage, build meter, and tag back into Yatterman to build Tekkaman's health back up. So in conclusion, this is a team that makes good use of the VAR mechanic to build meter, do high damage, and keep pressure on the opponent. Alright, what's up everyone? I'm Dr. Science. We're here to discuss Yatterman 2 and how we think she stands in a tier list type of situation. I'm here with Mr. Royal Flush, who is noteworthy for being a top-level TVC player, and yet I still don't know what his main team is. I'm sure it involves Hurricane Palomar. And Mr. K-Beast, whose crowning TVC achievement was losing to Marna Evo.
Hey, fuck you.
Yatterman 2, she has, I think we can all agree, like, pretty, reasonable meterless damage, but her supers, she has no way of tacking on damage to that. How is that okay? Like, what can she do to remedy it? Is there anything she can do, or does she just have to hold it?
Well, when it comes to supers, I mean, TVC, like, you don't really use them so often. But you can, but, like, you don't really want to use them because you want to, like, save them for Mega Crash and stuff. Yatterman 2 actually has an unblockable, which, like, people didn't really know how to maximize that yet. So how do you get out of that once you get going with, like, the Polymar assist or something? Like, I don't think there really is a way you can just do it. So just people didn't get to progress her enough to actually use her at the highest level. and I think that's part of her potential and why she should be that good in the game.
All right, and Ed, kind of going on that theme. She has, like he said, an unblockable, and she has some of the like highest priority moves in the game. Between her jump B and her quarter circle backwards moves, she has two moves that a lot of characters can't challenge at all. Like, why do you think that doesn't make her like really good?
Well, because her damage output isn't very good, but I realized that she's actually really good at pestering the opponent, just with her robot assist, and she builds a really good meter. It was a slow process. Like, it's not like most of the characters where you get chunks and chunks of damage, but, she's still serving a purpose.
Let's talk about the robot, because the robot was, I feel like, a big thing that a lot of people looked at her for. Kevin, the robot, when you call it out, it seems like it should be good, but really it seems to blow up your combos as much as anything else. Do you think that it's like a useful tool? Do you think that it's a good super, or do you think that you should kind of avoid using it?
It's definitely a good super. I wouldn't say it's offensive use, so you're not really doing combos and stuff. Um, it's an automatic mega crash almost if it wants to be helpful, and it is full screen. It's not like it's gonna not reach the top of the screen or something if your opponent decides to super jump. But if you only have 1 meter and you wanna have a mega crash, you can just call that out there before your opponent, tries to combo you. And if he happens to touch you, Robot will do headbutts and hand slaps to get you the hell out of there.
Back to Ed. Ed, what do you think about her mix-ups? She's got the command dash, which goes into overhead and low, which you have to broke if you're going to continue a combo. And she's also got really interesting air dash options. Like, between the jump B and the charge jump C, she can, from an air dash hit you anywhere from like 0 to 3 times, and it can be really hard to read. Do you think her mix-up game is strong compared to the rest of the cast, or do you think it's just okay?
The mix-up game was kind of just because you have to really commit to it, and you have to use broke. You get the high-low with the command dash, but you have to broke for it to do anything. And even after that, you're still. I don't know, it's just not as optimal as other characters. It was okay, I guess. But if you include the Honda robot in there, then it makes things a little bit more interesting because you can make more mistakes.
Kevin, do you think that her high-low game is scary? Do you think that her mix-up game is good, or do you also think it's not the best?
Well, it's definitely not the best considering that that's her only overhead, but it requires Baroque to do something, but it is an overhead, so you get them locked down on the ground, you have to make the block a 50-50. Like, it's just as that. Like, Yatterman 1 doesn't really have an overhead, so why is he so scary? Well, to a sense, it's not really, for the Zoni game, but it's to at least limit your opponent's options to a sense, and then you could kind of try to do something which to your heart's content is whatever you want, zone, or run away, or rush it in with some wacky baton spinny thing.
Alright, and same question to you, Ed. Do you think that her projectiles are useful, or no?
Well, the big thing about the star heart thingy, the ones that bounce on the screen, it doesn't chip. I don't think it chipped at all. And even when it kept on going faster and faster, left and right, up and down, no chip. So I mean, it kind of controlled the screen, but even if she had one out, she could have thrown another one. She would get like a swing, which would actually hit.
Last question. Let's get a tier rank, A through F. Kevin, you go first.
B-ish.
What do you think?
I say B.
We have a consensus. Yatterman 2 is B tier. You heard it here first. Alright, so thank you to...
Okay.
Alright, thank you to Kevin, Mr. K Beast, and thank you to Royal Flush. Let's go under the microscope and talk about some of the mechanics in TVC. Now in TVC, whenever you hit somebody air to air with your C button, you'll always knock them down. And whenever you hit them out of a normal jump, you'll always get this forced back roll. Okay, so maybe I lied. Because there's no launcher state in TVC, the game determines whether or not to give you this hard knockdown based on your height. Now obviously these force techs are better for resets because you can set up situations in which your opponent can't tech roll out, like this one. But what if your team doesn't have sweet swag like Kenjo? Well, it's not as hard to set these up as you'd think, due to another mechanic I'm talking about called low launches. In TVC, the game compensates from the higher height that you launch someone by giving you a lower launch. Now this is useful not only for setting up resets like these, but also for combos like this. The reason this works is that while the arc and the total time spent in the air of a low launch is lower than a normal launch, the hit stun is the same. There are other combos that you might have already seen on this episode that are only possible through the use of low launches, that might be impossible if you use a normal launcher for going. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Sorry again about the audio problems, but other than that, let me know what you thought down in the comments. We'll see you next time.